Dear Kismet helps you dive into the mysteries behind cardology, or the astrology and numerology of the playing cards. We answer questions from our tribe and discuss world events and celebrities, all through the lens of this magical, ancient system. Our goal? To help you align with what is written in your cards and to raise the collective consciousness of the planet. If you go to our website, itiskismet.com, and enter your birthday, you'll get to your card's one-stop shop where you will find a 15-page report on your card and much, much more. You can also go to our site to find the cosmic connections, also known as the planetary energies, between you and another person. Now is the time for cardology to become as encoded in the collective energy as astrology and numerology are. So please tell your friends about Kismet. Welcome back to Dear Kismet. My name is Laura.
Hi everybody, I'm Candy.
And I'm Paula.
Yeah, and today we have a celebrity episode and we are looking at Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin, and I'm freaking so excited about this because I love Chris Martin so much. I don't really, he's my celebrity crush. There's a video about that if you want to see all of our celebrity crushes and why you might have a celebrity crush. You can check that out on our YouTube channel under Dear Kismet. The reason I'm so excited about this is, first of all, I was totally ignoring Goop for a really long time because I just didn't get it. And then somebody recommended that I get on there for some product or something. So I started looking around and I realized that Gwyneth Paltrow had crystals on there. They were selling crystals. They were selling oracle cards. They were selling all the stuff that I get really nerdy about. I guess they kind of do like a regular issue where they're publishing articles. And this one was about UFOs, UFO controversies and things like that. So I was hooked. I had already been hooked into Chris Martin because he seems really high vibe to me. And some of the messages that are coming from his songs and even the videos that he's made recently, I feel really connected to his ability to try to be kind of expanding consciousness. So I got intrigued by what these two people are doing now that they're not in a relationship together. So Candy, tell us about how you feel about these two people.
Well, Chris Martin is not my crush, although I do like his music. So I'm kind of, I don't have a connection to Chris. It's fine. I like dancing to his music, singing along in the car. Gwyneth, on the other hand, I have not been a fan of Gwyneth Paltrow, and I was not a fan of Goop in the early days. It, to me, seemed very superficial when it started, and maybe that was just my perspective because of where I was in my life. But I see the evolution, and I see my perception of where it was and where it is now, and whether they're capitalizing on the New Age movement becoming mainstream or whether they're actually working to bring the New Age movement mainstream, I've decided I'm not sure that it matters. And the fact that you can find information about how to move energy and advice on how to relieve stress from mediums and meditations and what makes your fourth chakra happy and UFOs, like the fact that you can find all of that on a celebrity endorsed website, I think is amazing because it will get people paying attention and thinking about new things. So I am now a fan. Let's talk about Chris Martin, and let's talk about how he's Laura's celebrity crush first, because it makes her really happy and his cheeks get all rosy. So Chris, he was born March 2nd, 1977. So good news, he's age appropriate. Just a few weeks before Laura, in fact. The 8 of Spades. He likes long walks on the beach and sipping pina coladas. I'm just kidding. But as an 8 of Spades, he's a magnetic nonconformist. Duh, even I was mesmerized when I watched him perform during the Super Bowl. As a Pisces, his planetary ruling card is a 9 of Hearts. By the way, the other 8 of Spades birthdays are January 6th and February 4th for everybody who wants to know.
Yeah, so real quick, all those people are magnetic nonconformists. We've given everyone their own archetype. So make sure you check yours out on our website.
What work is he doing with these cards, Paula?
Okay, so first I want to just give a little heads up to all the King of Clubs. We're not going to list these birthdays because there's every month of the year has a King of Clubs, or the 6 of Clubs, because it's your karma card and you're going to have some traits similar to this. So the 8 of Spades, the name we gave it was magnetic nonconformist. It's also the card of Dr. Seuss, and man alive does it fit. They have a conundrum of power and a sense of vulnerability. We have the card of the General, the 8 of Spades, right next to the baby card. The Ace of Hearts is their very first card. So we see how Dr. Seuss integrated this very powerful message into his stories, which delight everyone's inner child. So there's a magic that comes together with putting these two energies together. And I wanted to read you a little bit from the report for the 8 of spades because it fits so well. They are usually creative or artistic in some way. They have an impressive combination of ambition, expressiveness, discipline, confidence, and originality, which propels them into success with a voice that will not go unheard. Then it goes on to talk about how they're pioneering, etc. And then get this, we all know he's a humanitarian, both he and Gwyneth. Humanitarian work seems to be a part of their very fabric, making its appearance sometime in midlife, if not sooner. Literacy, the arts, invention, and personal liberty seem to be the direction in which they focus their humanitarian efforts. So for you guys that know, I mean, you two guys who know Chris Martin better than I do, does that fit him?
Yeah. Yeah, they were big into that human rights campaign for a while too, weren't they?
Oh yeah, I think so. I forgot about that.
It's been a minute, but yeah. So they're always doing something. And then I remember I accidentally got on, well, probably not accidentally, clearly, but somehow I was on YouTube the other day and I saw the Coldplay Game of Thrones musical, and they were raising money for that Red Nose charity. And yeah, so they're always doing something, charity raising kind of stuff.
That's cool. And that's going to come out in their composite card when we talk about that too.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah, that's about their joint mission. So,
okay, so let's talk about Gwyneth. So she is 44. She was born September 27th of whatever year that makes her 44. And she's a 10 of hearts, which is the tender-hearted catalyst. And that is Libra. Well, she's Libra. And so that means her planetary ruling card is the 8 of spades, which is Chris Martin's card. So we talked about this in our previous video, what it's like for people to be in a relationship like that. We're going to get to that in a minute. First, we want to know what Gwyneth's work is.
Okay, so in short, the 10 of hearts, and by the way, if you are the 5 of spades or the Jack of clubs, this is a karma card for you, so pay attention, you'll see yourself. In short, they are givers, promoters, driven to succeed, they're tender-hearted, action-oriented, and lovers of home. But here's the sticking point. They have a very delicate inner child whose need for security can overwhelm everything else. So I'd like to read a little bit from the report that we have on the 10 of hearts. Despite the tendency of the 10 of hearts that the 10 of hearts has towards self-focus, discovering and validating what they need for themselves is a challenge. When in an intimate relationship, they must learn to maintain a sense of themselves and not get wrapped up in the other person's life. 10 of hearts have such a great need for security that it often causes them to sacrifice what they need in order to hang on to a relationship. They need to create boundaries for themselves and a separate identity from their partner.
Like, do you think that makes sense, Candy, with the way we've seen their relationship, the way they used to be together, like that she folded herself into it? Because remember when they split up? Well, before they split up, or I can't remember when they were splitting up, it was like, remember Coldplay disbanded for a while?
Yeah, well, it was interesting because when they were together, it's like they both kind of disappeared in a way, or they took turns disappearing. Like Gwyneth was in all these movies, and then all of a sudden Gwyneth wasn't in any more movies. And then Coldplay was this huge big band, and then all of a sudden Coldplay wasn't touring anymore. And then we heard the band broke up and everything, they kind of just faded away. And then they brought forth this term that they were consciously uncoupling, which at the time I thought was super weird. And now, looking back, I'm like, God, that's so revolutionary and so evolved, like to say rather than we're divorcing. Coupling, like, it's so elegant and freeing.
So respectful of a process that's taking place. So obviously there was some karma and they completed it. And I'm going to talk about how remarkable it is that they took their Neptune aspect to a higher vibration with that conscious uncoupling. Okay, so they're in the Jupiter line, and what I mean by that is this line right here. So this is her card and this is his card. And when you're in the Jupiter line, there's a lot of polarity that goes on in your own life. Like you can be a very public figure and yet you're introverted. You need your downtime desperately. You can get really bored with the downtime and need a lot of social contact. So we see that in their personal and public lives as well.
So his card is her planetary ruling card. When we talked about this in our video about intimate relationships. So if you want to dive in a little bit deeper, just kind of in general, go check that video out. But Paula, what does it mean for this couple that his card is her planetary ruling card?
Okay, so in answer to that question, I'm just going to read what I wrote because it was really inspired and I forgot what I wrote. So here it is. It's like Chris's primary vehicle is the same make and model of Gwyneth's alternate vehicle. So there is an understanding, a mutuality, which is automatic and unspoken. It's more than just getting the other person. It's about feeling like the same person. We are looking out at life from the same window. We bring the same equipment to the table. The ways in which they are unconscious or undeveloped will be mirrored in the other person and may be extremely difficult to own up to because the errors they see in the other are actually there. So they can get hung up on whatever is triggering them. It's very real. They can identify each other's shit like no one else. So the growth possibilities are immense should they choose to be conscious, which they did. What a wonderful example they have been to us of taking that rather intense connection and really doing their work, even to the point of how they split up.
Oh, I'm getting chills up my crown.
Cool.
Okay, so we're going to expand that a little bit to looking at their cosmic connections, and those you can look up for yourself and anyone in your life. And you can go to our website, it is kismet.com, and put 2 birthdays in and find your cosmic connections between you and someone else. So their 2 are Venus and Jupiter. Venus and Jupiter are the loving gurus. So we came up with a nickname for each of the cosmic connections. And in the report, we analyze, like if we were to buy the report for this, we would analyze what a Venus connection feels like, and then what a Jupiter connection feels like, and then what it feels like for those 2 things to be together. So Paula is going to take it off, and Paula's going to go next. I'm just going to leave it there.
Okay, so Venus allows for a lot of compatibility. You can spend a lot of time together. It's very comfortable. You can hang out on the couch or whatever. It's comfortable and you like each other. And the Jupiter connection is, I believe in you. I see your potential. And so when you put them together, it's like, oh, I like you so much. Do more, expand. Oh, you're amazing. I just love you. You can get so much bigger. And sometimes that gets kind of exhausting because sometimes you need to contract, and Jupiter is about expansion. And sometimes you need to separate, and Venus is about, it can get enmeshed. It's about togetherness. So there are challenges with every one of these connections. Also, Jupiter is the archetype of the father. He's the benevolent father. Nonetheless, there can be power struggles that come from that. So like the guru, it's sort of like a compliment with a little insult hidden in there. It's like, oh, I know everything. I know what you should do. I just totally know what you should do with your life because I can see everything. And that can be really annoying. Everyone needs to be their own guru. So I also want to bring in their Neptune connection. I'm not going to explain how we get there, but anyway, they have a very strong Neptune connection, and that on the downside can be unconsciousness. On the positive side, it can be consciousness. There can be a lot of unconscious projection, fantasy, dream come true, or this person is horrible. That's negative Neptune. And positive Neptune is about, I see the dream, I see the ideal, I see what we're reaching for. And it can be about inspiration, and it can also be about being as conscious as you possibly can. So I just want to say good on you, you guys, for really reaching higher. I just got the chills from that. They really did come together to bring in something really significant.
Yeah, it's super cool. So finally, they have a 5 of Hearts relationship composite card. This took me a little bit to understand. So the composite card, ladies, let's see if your teachings are working, are when we add the numerical values of the 10 of Hearts, Gwyneth's card, and the 8 of Spades, Chris's card. When we add those together, we get a number, which then we associate with the card, and that's the 5 of Hearts. All right, so Paula, what does it mean that they have a 5 of Hearts composite card for their relationship?
Okay, so the composite card is really an assignment more than a description. It is saying this is what you're supposed to learn and become. So the 5 of Hearts, it's very social, very connective. It's also about dealing with the restlessness and dissatisfaction and not knowing what you want. So they may have together really had to work that out. Let's get really clear about what we want, what we really, really want. there's also a very strong humanitarian card in that hand. It's the Queen of Spades, and she is a very powerful card, and she also has a very nurturing aspect. So when they came together, that very powerful humanitarian card got activated, and it just makes it so clear to me how these things get chosen before we get here, because their mission was so clear, and it was really, really beautiful and nurturing for a lot of people.
Great. Okay, so that wraps up our Chris Martin and Gwyneth Paltrow analysis. So we'd love it if you would like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Share this video to your friends if you enjoyed it. And look up your card on our website. It is kismet.com. Look up your cosmic connections. And then if you have a question for Dear Kismet, we're doing personalized questions sometimes. If you have any celebrities that you would like to have analyzed, just get on our website. It is kismet.com/ask. Fill out that form, and we will see you next time. Thank you for watching this episode of Dear Kismet. We would love it if you would subscribe and share. Go to our website, itiskismet.com, to learn more about the Cardology Conference in Vegas in October, to look up your card and cosmic connections, and to ask Dear Kismet a question.